Hi, this is JP Morgan. Today on Slanted Lens, I've got with me here Brianna White. Brianna's a fabulous model, and she's going to help us take a look at the new Tamron 35mm 1.4. That's a 35mm 1.4. If you stick around to the end of the video, you can see how to win this 35mm lens from Tamron 1.4. This is a new SP lens from Tamron, a great lens. It's a 40-year lens because they've been making SP lenses for 40 years. So it's an anniversary lens, 40 years of lenses from Tamron's SP lenses. So we're going to take a look at this lens. It's a 1.4. This is a great lens to shoot in context, and especially in this kind of environment where we've got rocks and water. It's just a great lens to be able to take and to shoot and to be able to see things in context. All right, well, let's get to shooting this lens. We want to see really image quality. We want to see if it vignettes. We want to see what it looks like in a strong backlight situation. We're going to shoot away here and get some images. We'll take them back to the studio. We'll look at them and see exactly what we got. So first off, we want to look at image quality. We shot a lot of images out at the beach here, and I shot a lot of them 1.4. This is one of the few images we got that were really saturated. So I've got nice saturated color. If you look at her face, it is absolutely tack sharp at 1.4. Just beautifully so. In fact, it almost feels a little uncomfortably so on her skin. So at 1.4, this lens is very, very sharp. There is a slight vignette in the corner at 1.4, and at 2.0. By 2.8, that cleans up completely, but there is just a slight vignette. I did not find that a problem as I shot here because it just looked, I mean, the images look fabulous. As I jump to kind of a backlight situation with these images, you would expect to see some chromatic aberration. I see, I'm at 1.4, got major backlight, and I've got really clean lines on the hill in the background. There may be just a slight ghosting there, but for 1.4 and for the distance there, that's pretty impressive. Look at this image. We've got her jumping, and I'm shooting at 8,000th of a second. I'm at 100 ISO, 8,000th of a second at 1.4, so I'm freezing the action without any problem. You see all the little kind of strands of material on the ends of the scarf are frozen, and she's sharp as could be. You got that heavy backlight, the image is clean. I mean, this really is holding up extremely well, and this is at 1.4. I tried a few of these with the Godox. It's the V862. Just some shots where she's very backlit. I went to a deep depth of field, and we put a little light on her face, and they look really nice. I'm very pleased with those. So I asked Bree if she had any tips for models, which also become great tips for photographers, actually.
I feel like the greatest tips that were ever given to me is always finding your light and elongating your body.
So let's take a look at edge-to-edge sharpness. Now I'm looking at rocks, and these rocks are all kind of, you know, they're not perfectly flat, and it's not like you have it on a mount like when you do a cinema lens when you're testing lenses and focus. So it's not super scientific, but even so, in saying that, I've got really nice sharpness edge to edge on this. It's holding up extremely well in the corners. I feel like we have a nice sharp image edge to edge. It really is the sign of a quality lens, and the lens is holding up exactly how you would want it to. So let's take a look at my favorite part, the Bokeh. I love the Bokeh. This is a 9-blade circular diaphragm, and it just gives you a beautiful round bokeh. It's just twinkle lights behind me. I had Jillian take some shots of me here, and it's just beautiful. If you take a look at this, it's depending on how far away I am, the bokeh gets a little larger. I also just started to pull the focus a little bit on the bokeh, so it just got larger and more concentric, and it's just beautiful. It gives you a wonderful, beautiful bokeh. I actually like the design inside the bokeh as well. If you take a look and just blow it up a little bit, I like the circular motion of it. I think it's just a really pretty rendition. So bokeh looks fabulous on this lens. So I took this lens, the 35mm 1.4, to Africa with me, and the reason I did that is because I wanted to shoot contextual portraits of people like in the villages and things, and these are the images we got. I mean, some of them are a little further away, this little boy climbing up in the tree, but really this getting in close to the people and really seeing them in their environments. I love these two little girls together in their little jackets. I mean, but I see the world they live in around them, which I absolutely love. The ones that really kind of illustrate that issue is if you look at like the huts, the woman with the basket on her head, and especially the woman with the child that's tied onto the back. This really becomes a contextual portrait. This is the perfect use of a 35mm lens. and you see her sun in the background, and things are kind of falling out of focus in the background. I held a little more focus on this than I didn't do wide open because I wanted to see the sun back in there. I wanted to drift to the sun so he was identifiable and to be able to see him in the background. But it just really is what makes this lens work, is this kind of portraiture. I also used the 35mm when I shot the time lapses I shot while I was in Uganda. The reason being is it gives me a nice wide view. I was using it with the Head 1, which is easy to travel with. Head 1 is small, got that camera with a 35mm lens, and it just gives me a nice pan like through this intersection, which worked out really nicely. So it's just easy to use, easy to travel with, but that 35mm gives me a wide enough view to make that time lapse work, and I think it worked out really well. So let's wrap this up. For me, this lens boiled down to a couple of things. It's really tack sharp at 1.4. It has beautiful edge-to-edge sharpness all the way through, which gave it, it's really a professional high-end SP lens. Now, I did see some vignetting at wide open 1.4 up to 2.0, but by 2.8 that was gone, and it was clean through the rest of the lens. So there's just a little bit of vignetting. I love the bokeh on the lens. I loved how flawlessly it worked with my EOS R, so it's really made to go on any kind of a mirrorless camera with the adapters that are made by the manufacturer. So this lens is really a high-end SP quality lens. I love this kind of lens as a contextual portraiture lens, and that's really where I would use it the most. And so, great offering, a lens that I definitely have to have in my bag because I want a good 35. Tamron had the 1.8, which is a great lens, but the 1.4 just gives me that extra stop and a little shallower depth of field in some situations where you may need that. And so I think it's worth the step up and worth the purchase. So there you go. There you have it. There's a look at that new 35mm 40 anniversary lens. 40 years they've been making SP lenses. They're at Tamron, so you can check it out and keep those cameras rolling. Keep on clicking. Now that we've told you all about this new lens from Tamron, we're going to give away one to the lucky winner here at the Slanted Lens. So get over to theslantlens.com/giveaway. Sign up to win your lens. It's a 35mm 1.4. Who doesn't want that?